Hi, my name is Yarn Journey, and I'm going to show you how to make these little flower beads that make cute little 5-petal flowers. They're more a bead than a flat flower, and they're made very similar to the rosebud, except with one special stitch to get these little loops on the side. And I think little 5-petal flowers make nice cherry blossoms in red, light pink, and the brown for the branch of the cherry blossom tree. And forget-me-not flowers, which is a really nice flower for a friendship bracelet. And I used the darkest blue and yellow, and this is actually a mango band yellow, and a light green just to give me some contrast. I would have liked a lighter blue and a really dark green, but the bands don't come in those colors. So this was my compromise, and I think it turned out kind of nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 little videos today because I found out I can't really make it all in one video. I'm going to show you how to make these little flowers today, and then I'm going to show you how to make a little bumblebee too on this monster tail. And he's kind of cute. I don't know if you can see his little face there, but he's got a cute little, he's got 2 little eyes, and he's got these clear little wings. So it's just a artistic interpretation of a bumblebee. So, well, these flowers are an artistic interpretation of a flower. They aren't like a real flower, but they're a bead. And I hook them up just exactly the same way as I did the rosebud bracelet. So if you follow the directions on how to loop them by placing the bead close to the peg of your rainbow loom, and do it the exact same way. Just remember to put your beads, your bumblebees in upside down so that the top is on the top of the bracelet. I didn't do that on a couple of these, and I'm going to have to reloom this. So let's get started, and I'll show you how to make a little 5-petaled star. And again, I use the regular hook for part of it, and also use this size 6 crochet hook. It's 1.6 millimeter steel crochet hook. I just like it because the hook isn't quite big enough to pull out a band, but it's big enough to get in little tight spaces. Okay, so to make a flower, I need 2 bands, one for this gathering band, which is the calyx of the flower, and 3 bands for the petal color, and 1 for the center. So let's do that. Okay. All right. And I hope this makes sense. I start off just exactly the same way as I did on the rosebud. So I took a yellow for my center, and I'm going to go around on the left side and pull across the front and on top the same way as I did with the rosebud. Okay, and then after that's done, I move them halfway to the halfway point down so they have some room at the top. Now I've got these 3 bands. I'm going to take one of the bands. The first one down is going to be the loop band, the one that's going to form the loops in the petals. One thing about this loop stitch is when you put it on your loom, your placement of it has to be at least one stitch ahead of where you want it in your finished design. So the next band that I put on, my second red, will actually be the band that's going to come out right next to this one. I hope that makes sense, but if it doesn't, you just have to put it on earlier than you'd think you'd have to. So then I do a regular fishtail with these off, keeping my bands in the right order because I want to make sure that the loop band is the same band all the way around. They didn't get crossed, did they? No. Okay. So then I'm going, again, bring them to about the halfway point, because I want to have some space at the bottom and some space at the top. Now when you do a regular fishtail stitch, you put the band up here, right? So, and then you're going to take this band off, this first band right here off. We're still going to take this band off, and this band is still going to end up here. But to do this stitch, we're going to start with the band at the bottom. So you can just put it on the bottom first. You don't have to put it on the top first. When you're doing, sorry about that. When you're doing, so I would start it with my band at the bottom. Just put it on there to begin with. Now this is my special, it's not my special, it's basically frame knitting purl stitch. But this is done in the fishtail, so it's a little different than you would do even with frame knitting. So what I do is I tried to think of a way to explain it and make it a little easier. I slip my hook in between the two bands, and then I lift the band that I want to take off, and I'm going to grab the one underneath it, the one that's supposed to be on the top. Then I'm going to pinch them both together. So I pinch them both together, and then I pull them off, and I drop both of them off, but put this one that's on the hook back on in the place that I wanted it to end up. Okay? Let's try that again. So we're going to slip, lift, grab, pinch, drop off, and replace. I know that's an awful lot of motions for one stitch, but you'll get the hang of it. So, and there's 18 flowers on a bracelet, so you do it 18 times 5, you'll be a pro in no time. So you lift, and I'm pinching, dropping off, and putting back on. Okay, so we want that one to be at the bottom again. So we're going to lift up the middle one, grab the bottom one, pinch them, drop off that first one that's not on the hook, and put the one on the hook back on the peg. Okay, you want to make sure that you've got your top one coming down there. So you're going to lift up, or slip them in between the stitches, lift the middle one, grab the bottom one, pinch them together, drop the one that you want to drop off, and put this one back on. And that's all there is to it. That's how you get a loop stitch on the outside of a fishtail. Then I'm going to put on this green band, which is the calyx of the flower, calyx or calyx, I'm not sure how to pronounce that right. And I'm going to put both of these off. In order, because that just keeps them in the right place. Just like we did with I did with the rosebud, and if you've been making the rosebuds, then this should be really easy. I have these little stickers, so I try to stay in frame. I'm having a little trouble with that. I did one video, and then I realized my hand's moving all the way out. So, okay. So I'm getting my flower. It looks like this. And because this is a versatile loom, you can do lots of different configurations. The five peg configuration gives you a really big stitch right here. And I found that I need to even them out for my flower. So I stick it underneath where this green thing is, and I just kind of stir it into the center and try to ease a little bit of the band out of this center one and into these two on the side. And it does work. The stirring does work. Then I do the same thing, bring this one down in and bring this one. And you'll start to see that this is going to become more even. Okay, and if see, these are they're getting there. And if one of them does seem to be a little bit sluggish, doesn't want to go, And you can always turn your that's what's nice about the monster tail, is you can just turn it in your hand and get the one you want. Then you can always just give these a little tug. Help them out a little bit. You just want to get the two. You don't want to get any of the yellow or any more of the red. And you'll see that they'll start getting a little bit more. There we go. And you'll see that they are all starting to get about the right size, the same size, and your little pentagon in the middle here is starting to look a little bit. Each side's starting to be a little more even with the side next to it. Okay. So when you get one that you think is about ready and it's pretty even looking, I press it all the way to the inside and check it. Now this is still kind of big here, so, and this one looks a little tight, so I might take this little band right here and give it a little bit of more of a tug, ease it around, and ease it into the stitch. You don't really have to do this. You can, it makes the flower a little bit more regular in appearance, but play around with it and see what you think. If you might not notice the little differences. Then I'm going to take, then you'll notice that you've got your little star in the middle here, and it looks pretty round. Then you've got five pegs, right? Down from each peg there is a loop here. You're going to give it a little bit of a tug, not much, because you can pull them out more after you get it off the loom. You're just going to pull it out just a bit. That way when it's off the loom, you'll be able to find them easier. Because you see how big this is, and the flower is really going to be quite a bit smaller when it's off the loom. So you don't want to pull too much because it's one band that's going around here, just one band. So you can, see like that, pull too much, like I just did there. But I'll even that out later. So, which comes in handy if you're doing a design where you want one stitch really big and another stitch not as big. So you can be creative. Then when it looks like this and you've got your little loops pulled out a little bit, I just take these off, just like I did on the rosebud, in order, just going around. You can see the little loops right here. Oops. One thing nice about this is you don't lose this stitch that easily. It's pretty tight in there, and you can, if it pops off, you can just usually put it right back on the peg. So then center it. Then we're going to get our last band and pull it through. Of course, on the video, usually this goes really easy, and of course if I'm doing a video, it's going to make it look harder than it is. There we go. Okay, and you've got your little flower. Now I'll show you, well, I could show you where to make a flat flower too, but I think y'all have got it. All you do for a flat flower is exact same steps as you did with this one, except right before the green band, you just loop them off. Here, I'll show you. Let's do a red and yellow one. So for a flat flower, you are going to do this. I'm going to make a separate video for the bumblebee. So, I may have already said that, I don't remember. And we're going to put on 2 yellow bands for the first 2 layers of petals. Well, 1 layer of petals. This is the petal layer. And this is the front layer. It's the one that's going to be right next to the center. So you can make different colors. And if you want to just do a design like a little star, you can know that the first band that you put down is going to be the points of your star. Which you can make a gold star and gold bands and things. Okay. So now I'm going to just leave enough space at the top here to put that third band there after my stitch. I'm going to put this is actually the back band. Okay, so here we're going to do the special stitch. I'm going to slip in between, lift, grab, pinch, drop off, and replace. Slip in, lift, grab it, pinch it, drop off, and replace. I'm going to slip in, grab it, drop it off, and replace. Let's do this side. I'm going to slip it in, grab the bottom, just the bottom, drop off that one that needs to go off, and replace the one that needs to be on the top. I'm going to lift it up, grab the bottom, pinch them, drop off one, and the last one, and replace the other one. Now, if you want a flower that's flat, you would just take this one right off here. So these won't stand quite up from your bracelet as much. They won't bounce around as much, which is kind of fun to wear the bracelets with the beaded ones because they bounce around. So then I take my green band. Oh no, that's not right. Now I take my, see it's a little tighter because you don't have that calyx band there. So again, you just have, so this one takes a little bit more effort to bring everything, and it doesn't want to go. But it will. It just takes a lot longer. A lot more stirring. A lot more cooking, let's say. So, okay. Bring this one in, this one. So yeah, you really want these to be about all the same size. You want to see about the same amount of yellow on each of these things. Can you see that right there? So you might have to just wiggle this one a little bit more than you would have on the other design. That's why the beads are a little easier to do than the flat ones. It always seems to be this side too. Well, you see I got the red band in there, and I don't want that. I want to get it without the red band. There we go. Okay. This still looks a little big, but you can see that it doesn't make quite as, it's not quite as even. So then you can bring this to the front again. Ease your band around a little bit, just the top one. Okay. Just have to ease it a little bit around. But if you really want a flat flower, then that's what you need to do. And again, you're going to find your loop bands, and they're right there. They're the only one that's crossing. So you always want to find the peg and find the loop to pull out, because you wouldn't want to pull out this loop. There's no peg there, so don't pull out on that one. You just want to pull out on these ones. Okay, there we go. Then you just would take these ones off. You can see that it's much tighter. Doesn't look quite as much like a flower right away as the other one does. I'll try to center it a bit. Okay. Alright. See, but then you just have a little bit more evening out to do to get it to look like a flower. And one thing is they do relax overnight or, after a couple of hours, and they become rounder with time. So right now when they're first off the loom, they look a little funky. You can always, if it looks like the two petals are too close together, you can pull that out a little bit. That type of thing. Or if you want this to be a little closer together, pull that together a little bit more. Yeah, see, that pulled out a little bit much. So, yeah. But they're adjustable, so but yeah, this one would have to rest for a little while to even out a bit. The other one, you get a nicer looking flower right away. So that's the difference between these two types of flowers. And I just loop them together in the triangle bracelet pattern, keeping the charm close to the peg, and that's how I got those bracelets. And I'll do another video. I'll turn the camera off and then make another video to show how to make this cute little bumblebee. Okay. All right, bye. I hope that was helpful. Okay, bye.